Welcome to Lifestyles of the Poor and Unknown. We're high up in the Rockies where the good vibrations go. I have a special guest today, and his name is Seth Sachson. And Seth is friends of the Aspen Animal Shelter, and he takes good care of doggies because he's always, look at his dog sitting on his lap. This dog loves him. I mean, so, Seth, where do we start?
Well,
let's where are you from? How about that?
Oh gosh, grew up in Dallas, and then came on vacations here with my family from throughout. I was born in '69, so the '70s and '80s. This is where we vacationed, and then I went to college in Tucson, and upon graduation, I was either going to go back to grad school or I had a field biologist kind of job at the time, and my parents told me to follow my dreams. And although I was really excited to go to grad school and all that sort of stuff, I always wanted to be a dog sled musher at Krabloonik here in Snowmass Village. And so I followed their advice, and I moved here, and I was a dog sled musher. And then, lo and behold, I lived in a house with on Brush Creek Road heading up to Snowmass Village. I lived in a house with 7 people and 7 dogs, and we had a mouse problem. And I went to the local animal shelter, the Aspen County Animal Shelter, to adopt a mouser, just a cat that would be our pet and kill mice. And the minute that I walked into this old shelter, just an old cinder block building in the back of the Aspen Airport Business Center, the minute I walked in, I was home. Like, I knew that I had found my place, and I volunteered there, and then I ran the front desk for $10 an hour, and eventually it became such a part of me I never left. And so fast forward 28 years, and here we are today.
And now you are the president of the animal shelter.
Yeah, well, president of we have a nonprofit, Friends of the Aspen Animal Shelter, and then for the Aspen Animal Shelter, I like to just say I'm the director, or just Seth. You know, nothing special, but I love it, and I love taking care of the animals. I love placing them in responsible, loving homes. And what makes it really neat that I enjoy tremendously about it is that we've created a self-sustaining facility where the animals with homes support the animals without homes. So we have a boarding kennel and a pet shop and a grooming shop, and that all generates the revenue to support the homeless guys like Lake here, who's a homeless pet at the shelter. And then eventually it becomes a virtuous circle, they call it in economics, because Lake will be adopted, as will the other homeless dogs, and they will then pet shop with us and groom with us and board with us, and they're generating revenue for the next generation of dogs that come through.
And you're well established in town. I mean, every Saturday you're at the farmer's market, and people come over and say hi to Seth, and check out dogs. And he just said, anyone watching this, is that this beautiful little dog named Lake wants a home. We got to find a home for Lake.
Yeah, she's great. She's just going on 4 months. She's a pit bull mix out of a litter of 9. We have 2 left, and she's been really well socialized. We've had this litter since they were about 8 weeks old, and so they have been raised with children and other dogs and just exposed to everything. And what I really like about Lake is she's very comfortable with herself. Like, not many 4-month-old pups are just going to crash out in your lap in a new, strange place next to a dog they've never met before. And I think she's a really special, sweet dog.
Yeah, she looks really cute. And she's a little shy. Right now, she's not. She's still attached.
Well, she's friendly with strangers. So I wouldn't call her shy. I would just say that she's not obnoxious.
Yeah.
So
she didn't want to stay with me. When you gave me the leash, she wanted to go with you.
She's a happy, playful pup, but definitely isn't barky and yappy and just running all over the place.
How big will she get?
She'll be pretty big. Her mom was about 60 pounds. I'd say she's going to be like 60 to 70 pounds. So if you kind of picture like a female lab size. But she'll be a good, strong, athletic dog.
And she'll be good around kids, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, because of the socialization. I mean, we like to tell everybody that they have pit bull in them, for full disclosure. And some of the best dogs I've met have been pit bulls, and some of the worst dogs I've met have been pit bulls. And it's nature nurture, and a lot of it is how you raise them. And
Sure.
like I was saying, I feel like she's been really well socialized. But after having the shelter for 28 years, I do feel most comfortable adopting pit bulls and pit bull mixes to incredibly knowledgeable, well-versed families who have raised puppies before and know what they're doing. Because if you take a dog like this and you don't socialize it and it just lives sequestered in your home and doesn't grow up interacting with other dogs and people and children and new experiences, then you could have a problem on your hands. So that's, yeah.
Sure. Now, part of the whole process is socializing, getting
Yeah.
them used to people and children and all that. So Pee-wee
Yeah.
is, he's 8 years old now, and I got him, and we were talking earlier about you were in Sedona. He comes from the Humane Society in Sedona. I got him as a puppy.
Nice.
And we've been together for 8 years, and we're pretty bonded. We're tight.
Yeah, that's a well-behaved dog. Once again, we're talking about gentle, affectionate, dignified dogs. Like Petey's hanging here and letting a stranger touch him, and he's not bouncing all over the place. It's cool.
He's really good with that, and that's key to socializing. I mean, if you don't get your dog out and so do that, introduce him to people and let him play with other pets and all that, then they might be uncontrollable.
Yeah, I like to say that socialization. People talk about training a dog. I think before you even talk about training, whether I look at training as like, let's train the dog to sit, let's train the dog to go retrieve the newspaper, let's train the dog to do this and that. I think that's really important, but the base layer of everything is socialization. Whether you're raising a horse or a human or a dog, socialization, and that many people think of that as training, but it's socialization. It's walking down the street, letting your dog meet strangers. It's teaching your dog not to bark at horses. Let them go meet the carriage horses out there. So if you're on the trail hiking and your dog encounters a horse, he's not going to freak out barking and get the rider bucked off, and just teaching everybody to be a good citizen.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And of course, if you have a good citizen, a good person that gives the dog a lot of love and takes care of it. I wouldn't have a dog if I was working all day long. I mean, the reason I got Pee-wee is because I don't work.
Right.
And he's with me 24/7, 7 days a week. He travels with me everywhere I go. Pee-wee goes, and if he can't go, I don't go. I mean, I don't fly much anymore because I can't take him with me. And, but he's really been good. And I was when I first got him, I was living in my van at the time, and he pooped on the bed. And I went, oh, no, you ain't gonna be pooping on my bed, boy.
Yeah.
So I went and bought a place in Sedona Shadows. It's a senior community. I bought a trailer, and because it had a little yard with a doggy door. And we began the process of getting him potty trained.
Right, nice.
And then once we did that, then I let him back in the van, and he was good. He tells me when he's got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, when I've raised puppies, more in my younger days, when I used to take a lot of puppies home from the shelter, I would sleep with. I love crate training, by the way, but I couldn't. I always wanted to hold them.
I hated
that. It's tough love. But what I would do is I'd sleep with the puppies in bed when I didn't. At that point I didn't want to crate train. And I would tie a little thread to my wrist and then to the dog, so we're sleeping. But when they would wake up in the middle of the night because they had to go to the bathroom, it would move my hand and I'd wake up, and then I'd rush them immediately outside. And so that was my puppy training method 101 back in the day.
That's really sweet to do that. Did everybody hear that? Did you listen to what he just said? He tied a little string, slept with the dog, and when the dog woke up,
it still works today.
That's good. I wish I'd have known that because I got the little cage thing and.
Yeah. No, but I love now as a married guy with a little 3.5-month-old human child and 10 dogs of my own and horses and all that sort of stuff. I love crate training. I think it works quickly. It teaches them also to be alone. When you do the method I was talking about, I definitely raised some codependent dogs that were needy and had to be with me all the time because that's how I was, and I was projecting that on them, and they were coming back at me, and it was a very needy relationship. But now I think crates are neat because they teach them to be house trained, and that's their den. But on top of that, it's teaching them to be alone and learn that it's okay to be alone with yourself. And a lot of people don't allow their dogs that time and space to learn that it's okay, chill out, be comfortable with yourself, because we're all filling a void in our life with our dogs. I like to say it's not really always about the dog. Even when people, whether they're rescuing or they're taking their dog everywhere, a lot of times they're filling the hole in their heart or in their mind or whatever.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's healthy to say, okay, I love you to death, you're awesome, but we're gonna have some alone time. You go do your thing. I'm gonna go eat dinner with people, you know, and I don't have to have you, like you were saying, you bring your dog everywhere. That's cool, but I don't have to have you with me. We can be apart for a meal. And I used to live more like you in college, and then when I first moved out here, and as I reflect on it, I see that it was awesome, but I definitely created some dogs that weren't as healthy as I think my dogs today. That I say, like, okay, go run around, have fun. I'm doing my thing over here. But you know, I was young and out of college, and that was my crutch. And I took my dog everywhere, and I wanted to project to the world who I was. You know, hey, here's my cool scruffy dog, and I'm a mountain man, and I'm living now in Aspen, Colorado. And I'm going skiing, and I'm taking my dog with me. And you know, as you get older, you're sort of like, okay, I can go skiing with my friends, and I can do this and that. So.
Yeah, I say he's with me. He's not always with me. I mean, he's really smart. If I'm on the computer, he goes in the corner, you know, and he'll sit down, and when I close the computer, he gets up. Yeah. When I went to the pound to pick him up, or I didn't go to the pound to get a dog. It was, I went to the pound to see the dogs. Right. And, and I got to the cage where, where the little dogs were, and they're all yipping, rah, 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 rah. And he was in the corner on a towel. He's just laying there, and I said, let me see that guy. Cool. And I said, where he is. He doesn't, he doesn't respond to anything. He doesn't get all excited about anybody or anything. And he stays with me. That's important. Yeah, that was another part of the training.
I've seen you walking around town. This dog sticks to you like glue.
He won't let me out of his sight. I'm his humble servant. You know? I mean, it's like I'm a service human.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
So, I mean, of course, you got to feed him and clean him, and I chauffeur him. I'm his personal chauffeur, his humble servant. Feed him, clean up his poo-poo, and I mean, I tell you, I take good care of this boy. He's spoiled.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We got a few more things we wanted to talk about, share. And so we were talking about Pee-wee, and I got Pee-wee and Sedona, and you brought this picture. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not.
You want me to hold it up?
Maybe just pick it up.
This actually ties into Sedona.
No, don't pick it up. You can see it.
So, yeah, that's interesting. That's an artist, Ron Burns, who ties into Sedona because back in '92, when I was at our old animal shelter here in Aspen in the business center, a nice guy walked in who was from Sedona and said, hey, I'm an artist, and I have this idea. I want to go to animal shelters and take photographs of the homeless pets, and then I'm going to do paintings from them and create prints, and I want to sell the prints, and then I want to give donations back to local animal shelters. And I thought he was a really nice guy, but I thought in 5 million years I wouldn't see the guy or hear of him again or hear from him. And we had a great time for a couple hours. He took photographs of the dogs, and I was young and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and was happy to give my time to him, and the dogs got some loving. And then, lo and behold, about 6 months, a year later, I got a check for like $400 or something, and he said, and some prints. And he said, you're not going to believe this. My idea took off, and I'm selling them. And I said, well, that's fantastic. And I hung them on the wall at the shelter. And then fast forward 5-10 years later, and he is currently the artist in residence for the Humane Society of the United States. But it's cool because he always mentions us, and his idea started at the Aspen Animal Shelter. And I just thought that was interesting, and I brought that because that's a Sedona guy as well, and you obviously love Sedona and speak of Sedona often.
Yes, I do. We got a few things we want to do while you're here, so I don't know time-wise yet, but let's, real quick, you're taking tell me about this.
So that's one of the fundraisers for our nonprofit, Friends of the Aspen Animal Shelter is our nonprofit. We neuter over 1,000 animals for free every year, starting with all the dogs and cats in the Roaring Fork Valley and beyond. But we also do a lot of work on the Navajo Indian Reservation. And so one of our fundraisers is the calendar, and people make a donation and they put their pets in our calendar, whether you want your pet on the cover or on the inside pages or on the back cover. And it's a really neat way that when people make a donation, I like to give back. And so it's a neat way that people can donate, but they also have their pet in the calendar. And then often they use that calendar as a coffee table book and leave it out on the coffee table for the year.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
This is good. And they got, of course, I don't know if you can see, we got a picture of.
Oh, thanks. You snapped that of me at the farmer's market.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I went down and had it blown up.
That's
and
cool.
so we could have it
Thanks.
here today. And,
Nice.
and Seth with one of his dogs.
Yeah.
And again, contact the Aspen Animal Shelter and find out about this, having your dog
if you guys
in the calendar.
we're actually, it's great timing because we're in the fall right now, and we close it out soon so that it's ready for 2020. And if people ever want to call us, whether it's for the calendar or to visit with Lake or any of the other homeless pets, whether you like dogs or cats or birds or reptiles, you can call us at 970-544-0206. We're open every single day of the year from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Never been closed in 28 years. We're there. We want people, like we talk about socialization, we want people to socialize with the animals. So obviously adoption is our final end goal, but it's the end is so important, but the means to get there is equally important, and we need people to touch these dogs and handle them, and we need tall guys with hats on and sunglasses, because a lot of dogs are scared of tall guys in sunglasses when they're not socialized well. We need all shapes and sizes of people, and we need them to love these animals.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And you'll get a lot of love back if you treat them right. I mean, I really believe that a dog's personality reflects the person that's taking care of them.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because if you got a dog that's barking and always mean to people, it's probably the reflection of the person.
Oftentimes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's you see a lot of nervous ladies with nervous dogs.
Yeah.
And as time has gone by at the shelter, because we also have a boarding kennel, so I am more and more honest with people when their dogs are ill, when they're dropping their dog off for boarding, and they are like, no, Pepe, come here. I want to give me one more kiss. Give mommy one more kiss. Oh my God. Here, you need my T-shirt. You need my scent with you. You need this.
You need my socks and my underwear.
But it's like a mom dropping their kid off at kindergarten. You want your child to know you love them, but in a more stable, grounded way, rather than creating a neurotic child. Like, okay, don't have fun with your the other children. Miss me and stare out the window all day and think about me because mommy loves you. It's like, no, let's all raise healthier dogs and children. So. Absolutely,
you got it. Okay, so we're having fun here. We're talking about dogs. We're dog lovers, and we hope everybody that has a dog will call Seth at the Friends of Aspen Animal Shelter. Just real quick, the doggies that are on the table here was donated here to us today by Tony Thompson, who's at the Red Brick, and she does these sculptures, and they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then the painting behind Seth, it comes from the Royal Gallery. They one of the underwriters, and they let us have that picture with Snoopy. It's Snoopy up there, and. So that's a little plug for all the support here today, and then we'll come back if we got time to talk. What do we want to talk about, Zaf?
Oh gosh, well, to keep in line with talking about socialization being important, and we want volunteers, I want to encourage everyone, because the shelter, first and foremost, we're an animal shelter, obviously, and we have so much else going on, but it feels like a community center. So whether you're a mom and dad with kids and you're a local, or you're here on vacation, or whether you're going on a first date and you need sort of an icebreaker and need something else to direct your energy and your attention at, I want people to always keep the animal shelter in mind, or say you want to après ski in the wintertime. We're a destination, it's become, and it really does feel like we're sort of part of the fabric of the community, and people come, and whether you're coming and you're just going to spend a half hour and meet some dogs and cats, or if you want to come spend part of the day, I just want everyone to know we're not only are we there for you, but you're then there for the animals, and it's just win-win. And we even have a filler ad in the newspaper that says, exercise your heart, walk a dog, cuddle a cat at the Aspen Animal Shelter, because it's win-win for everybody. It's awesome.
Good. And I obviously you described what the kennel was like when you first got here. Now you have a really nice kennel out there.
Oh, nice.
At
Yeah.
the ABC.
Thanks. Yeah.
And so you, what was I going to say? We were talking about.
I can tell you about more animals that are up for adoption.
Yeah.
this season?
Okay. I mean, you've said a lot. So
Oh,
it was a
thanks.
couple. That's okay. No,
I can
it's
keep
great.
going.
I know you can. But it was something you said. It was really caught my attention. It's
Yeah.
like with taking care of a dog. I mean, like I said, I don't work. I mean, Peter's with me in what I do as an
Right.
artist. I can take him everywhere I go,
Right.
and I don't like to leave him alone. And I don't think he's like emotionally unstable or anything.
Right,
He has a
right.
personality
Yeah.
problem. He seems to be pretty good. Everybody loves him, and he's real friends with everybody.
Yeah.
Knows Pee Wee, so that's like you said, it's very important to take care of a dog. I mean, I hate seeing dogs being abandoned or neglected, and just not getting.
Yeah, you
know,
don't see that
abused,
too much in
abused.
our community. We live in a pretty responsible community, the whole valley.
Right, that's what I wanted to say. Aspen is a
Oh my God,
dog-loving
Aspen,
town.
Picken County, the entire Roaring Fork Valley. People love their pets. People seem to be incredibly responsible. And even if somebody has a 9-to-5 full-time job and they're an accountant and they can't concentrate on their dog, oftentimes they either take lunch breaks, take their dogs hiking, or they go before work. Or we have a boarding kennel at the shelter with doggy daycare. So they drop the dogs off and keep the dog on we have a webcam and they can watch them on the computer while they're working. But so that's why, like, you're in an ideal situation that you can have your dog with you all day. But it's still, I always tell people, don't rule out having a dog, even if you work 9 to 5, because, whether you can bring your dog to work or you send it to daycare or you take a break in the middle of the day or you have a pet sitter come by, like, there are a million ways to work around it. And it's different for every dog. So I never make blanket general statements I make many absolute statements, and I'm very judgmental, but not about that, because, I mean, some of the best dogs, some rescues across the country won't adopt out to somebody if they don't own their home and have a fenced-in yard, for example. Some of the coolest, happiest dogs I've ever met are owned by homeless people.
Right.
So a homeless guy is with his dog all day, and whether he's hiking around and sleeping down by the river or he's sleeping at a community center that lets him bring his dog there, that's a happy life for a dog. And then I've met some amazing dogs that live in a 400 square foot studio with people, but the guy happens to be a long distance runner. And the guy goes on long runs with his dog, and then his dog's content to sleep all day. So, once again, we're all judgmental. I think that's part of human nature, and I think it's healthy and good. I don't like when I meet someone who doesn't have judgment. That sort of pisses me off, because deep down inside they're judging. They're just not expressing it, But so we're all going to judge, but especially with dogs, unless you know someone's situation, you shouldn't judge, because I do see, speaking about individuals and also other animal shelters, I do see people do grand generalizations. But I understand in a bigger town where you don't know everyone, you have to set those guidelines, because true, maybe some homeless people aren't going to be good dog owners, or somebody that lives in a studio isn't. But also, someone that lives on Red Mountain on 35 acres, they might not be a good dog owner either. So we try to take every single situation on an individual basis.
They can afford to get a dog sitter,
Right.
So anyway, I got a 5 here. Countdown is Seth, and I want to thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. It was really fun, and talking about dogs, and we love dogs. And this is Seth Sachson from the Friends of Aspen Animal Shelter. Please go by, say hi, go look at a dog, or at least take a dog for a walk.
Yeah,
right?
whatever. We just like people to come on in, because
And you have events, real quick.
Yeah.
You do. You have a big annual.
Oh yeah, we have our
that?
Dog Day Afternoon Community Carnival every summer in July.
Uh-huh.
That's a blast. We have all the restaurants in town. We tent in the whole parking lot, and it's free food, free drink, live music, adoptable pets, a bounce house for kids. So it's talking about community, and like we're a part of the fabric of the community. We love it, and we just want everyone to come and be involved. And it's free, but for those who want to donate, they can donate. And so that's kind of the vibe we like to roll with. We're not desperate, and the dogs are, even if you don't donate $1, the dogs are going to eat. We're all good.
Thank you for watching Lifestyles of the Poor and Unknown. My name is Hinton Harrison, and I had a special guest today, Seth Sachson from the Aspen Animal Shelter. And I want to thank you for watching. And this is my little boy Pee Wee,
And we want to tell you how much we love doggies, right, Pee-wee? Yeah, you little baby boy. He's my little bundle of love, and I love him so much. Yeah, Pee-wee boy. We love dogs, and if you stay tuned, you'll see some pictures of people and their dogs.